don't think we're asking anything out of the norm. Nobody is going to build a single-family home on this property. The only thing it's going to be used for is commercial development or multifamily. It's the only thing that ever be built there, or it's going to continue to be a dump for the local people that decide need a place to dump their trash. Let's see.
Commercial property sign.
Hold on, sir, you out of order.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question.
Okay.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
I hear your concerns, but you need to hear the master plan concerns. It's outside the loop, so it's no development, it's redevelopment, okay? It's also R1D, which that is a single-family home designation to that lot.
Yes.
And I know you say a person is not going to build there, a residential lot on a single lot like that, and that's probably true. But that's why we tell everybody when they're looking to buy a lot, make sure you look at the zoning, what it is and what you want to do with it, and put an option on it before you buy it. I know you probably got a lot more money in it than you can get back on one residential home. But for us, as a board, and I'm speaking for the board, for us to put that many homes on that tight of street, that's probably not a good safety deal. And we hadn't asked this yet, but have you got DOTD's approval to put a curb cut in that, for that site plan?
It's already there on the Old Morningsport Road.
They have to also approve it. I mean, you went from 2 mobile homes to 64, is that right?
32.
32, is that right,
Well,
Stephen?
what we're actually asking for is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Stephen, does he have to go back to DOTD for a 32?
He would have to get driveway permit for that.
That's what I
development.
thought.
Yes, sir.
So,
Okay.
so kind of getting a little cart ahead of the horse. I think you got grand envisions of what's going to happen there, but when you meet with Stephen and others on site plan and what the master plan calls for, we spend a lot of time and money on what we want Shreveport and Caddo to be. This, as you hear from the residents, isn't part of it, okay? So you can do something with it. It's not saying you can't put a house on it because it's zoned that right now. But to jump from that to that R2 is going to be a hard leap. So there are probably some things you can do with it and they can visit with you on it. But speaking for me, I'm just giving you the reasons probably why we're going to vote on it here in about a minute, that you might not get what you need, okay? So I'm just saying there's some issues with getting to where you need to be.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you,
you, Ms. Culver. Ms. Cooper.
I just, in studying our different zoning, I think your application might be asking for something that's inappropriate. I think your particular site, as described, might need an R3 or an R4, because you have an R2 is limited to 11 units per acre. So I'm not sure an R2 is going to do it for you. And so you might want to, I'm not sure if from some of our staff, I'm not an expert on the numbers, but I don't want to be discouraging. I mean, I like the idea of some affordable housing in our town. We need it for people, and it's a good idea. But I think it's going to be a bigger leap than you might realize. But I'll let Mr. Jean maybe speak to that, or somebody else.
Okay, we'll hear from Mr. Young, then Stephen.
I'm going to defer to your expertise because you've done a lot of research on multifamily housing. 388 square feet is pretty tight. The only reason I know that is I love to take cruising.
Yes.
You get a balcony room, it's about 200 square feet at best.
Right.
Which is a close and intimate place for you and your spouse for a very short period of time.
Can I interrupt real quick?
Sure.
Look, this plan that I submitted with the floor plan, we knew we want to put some multifamily there. This was a plan that an architect friend of mine had. We didn't put any money. We wanted to come and try to get this approved. Probably should have put a little more time into developing the actual size of the apartments, because I see that's raising a lot of concern, and even the number of the apartments. You know, if we could get an R2 and put 11 there, we'd be fine with that. You know, so I mean, the R2 would be good. We knew we want masonry and hardy board on the exterior. We want it to look nice, and you know, we want it to be a nice development. We're going to maintain ownership of this. We don't plan on selling it. You know, it's an investment for us. So I should have put more homework into the plan and the elevation that I submitted. So I apologize for that.
Thank you, Mr. Young. Stephen?
Yes, I was confirming that this was not in your staff report, but the density requirement for R2 for multifamily dwellings is 4,000 square feet per dwelling unit. Even at the 16 units, which is half of what there's, does not meet that test. This possibly could meet the test for an R3, not advertised for R3, it's advertised for R2.
Again, I think that goes back to the floor plans that I submitted that don't actually.
Okay. Mr. Remedies?
You want to withdraw your application? I think if you get a denial, you can't come back for
A year.
a year.
Can he request a deferral and amend
I just
or
wanted to throw
withdraw?
that out there for,
Right. What are his options?
He could come back to us with a deferral and amend his application. That would require us to re-advertise to do that. When we just ran the numbers just now, you may want to look at these numbers very closely with us before you go any further. If you wanted to defer, we'd be glad to go over that with you.
Okay.
But even at R3, you may have...
And what if we go to R2?
Well, your R2 is where you have the problem. You cannot get that density. R3, the building site should contain at least 700 square feet of open space for each dwelling unit, exclusive of parking and moving space. So we would need to be able to do a calculation on that to be sure that you meet that standard. And right now, I haven't had the time to
I understand.
do the analysis of that. I think that if you have two suggestions, both of which are good suggestions, is that this board, as this is set up today, could not give an affirmative answer the way that the application stands. So if you would want to try to defer this case to allow us to discuss options with you, that may be something you may want to do.
And I think I would like to do that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Mr. Young?
Mr. Jean,
Yes, sir.
is there precedence for deferral when you're possibly changing a zoning application from an R2 to an R3 or R4? Is that going to require a whole new advertising process?
Yes, sir.
Because you're going
It has to
do
be advertised.
Would
Yes,
that not
sir.
be about the same thing as actually a withdrawal as opposed to a, because it's going to be a whole new application process?
Yes, sir.
Because you're not actually deferring an R2, you're
are-
actually changing the whole concept of the whole
That's
application.
exactly right. Correct. And I think you're going to end up with an entirely different site plan, obviously, as well.
So really, the option is either
I was just
deferral or denial.
Those are the two options you have in front of you. as I
Deferral or
see it,
denial.
sir.
Or
Not
you-
deferral,
You
well,
either
deferral,
defer
but deferral is not going to get you anything. It's going to be denial or
Or he can
withdrawal.
withdraw.
But those may be the better solutions for him today. And then we could get back together and really work on this to see if what his options are. The deferral, only thing that would do would give us, it would not take care of the issue unless he revised his application. That would be the only way that deferral, if he did not revise his application, we're right back where we started from.
So really, the two options are denial, withdrawal, or withdrawal.
Those seem to be the most viable at this point.
See where we're at.
And if we go through the denial, there's a year before I can come back, you said?
Correct.
I'll withdraw.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, based upon the applicant's request for withdrawal, I make a motion to approve withdrawal.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Young and second by Mr. Andrews that C-6014 be withdrawn. All in favor vote yes, opposed vote no. Passed unanimously and the case is withdrawn. Okay. Moving right along, case P14-14, 6800 West Bert Coon.
Joe, this is why you get your cases in early in the
Amen.
month.
Let me give you the important information first.
Just a minute, Joe, let them exit.
Give us about 10 seconds, sir.
Early on the docket, early out of the docket.
Okay,
Hang in there, Doc.
all right,
Joe Partain,
go right ahead.
7078 Magnolia Street, Greenwood, Louisiana, 71033. Y'all will be happy to know this is a simple situation here.
Oh, you're all right.
Yeah,
There are no creatures,
And
Joe.
plus, what are-
There are no creatures.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Andrews, this is in West Shreveport, I just want you to know that. And Ms. Smith, there's some good-looking landscape going to be on there too. Actually, this is actually an industrial development along there in Burt Coons where it's, kind of give you a little idea where it is where it's making that curve, going from past Buncombe Road and making the curve going back around towards I-20. It's all industrial development in there, and the owner it's about a 3-acre tract. When I met with Ione, we actually are not only showing the building that he wants to build immediately, which is the 5,000 to 6,000 square foot building I got there with adequate parking and showing the turn radius and how the trucks will get in and out. But also, since it is a 3-acre tract, I want to go ahead and show that additional property that is proposed at some point in time. I've got a 200 feet space between the driveways, which would be required by DOTD. And actually, I said it's an industrial piece of property. Everything around it's industrial and simple, straightforward. If you have any questions, I'm right here.
Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions or comments from the board? Okay, you did good. Thank you very much.
Sounds good.
All right. Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of this application? In favor of this application? In opposition to this application? Opposition to this application? If not,
Chairman, make a motion to approve.
motion by Mr. Young for approval, second by Ms. Betsy. All in favor, vote yes, opposed no. And every vote. Where's Mr. Andrews? Get on it. Okay. We gotta get out of here. Motion passed, the application approved unanimously. Thank you. All right, the next case is case number P15-14, 7700 East Kings Highway.
We have a PowerPoint to hook up. I spoke with staff yesterday. Ready for it?
I'm gonna take a help right now because you got it.
All right. Should just be. What kind of break you call it? There we go.
Hey, Alan, while they're hooking that up, we probably should have went ahead and denied that one in the middle, because it's gonna take them a year to meet all his requirements for what he's doing with DOTD.
Where might it show?
I know we're doing it, you know what I'm saying?
The last one?
Did you ever ask for a haircut from DOTD?
Well, he can.
Everybody,
That doesn't mean we have
Might be
to
2
be
years.
ugly.
just let us know whenever you're ready.
All right, excellent.
Please state your name and address for the record,
You
please.
bet, you bet. My name is Adam Foray. Address is 7700 East Kings Highway, 7115. This is my wife, Catherine. And what we aim to do today is to kind of show you a little bit about who we are and why we're requesting a zoning change. I think that we're a little different than the standard business in both what we do and our workflow and our needs. So I want to kind of talk to you a little bit about who we are now and kind of what we aim to do. So we put together this PowerPoint to do this. So again, we're both veterinarians, and we're the owners of University Veterinary Hospital here in Shreveport. It has been opened on this property and opening as a veterinary hospital here since March 23rd, 1981. We are one of less than 13% of veterinary hospitals in the United States to have the distinction of being accredited by the American Animal Hospital Association. Essentially, this is a governing body that comes in every 2 years, goes over top to bottom of the clinic to assure that we're doing things the best way we possibly can. We also have a specialist as part of our team, so we are a specialty hospital. And to date, we are the only specialty veterinary hospital accredited by the American Animal Hospital Association in Louisiana. And this includes the vet school, so we were able to achieve this before they were. So we have a little different approach to veterinary medicine.
As he was stating, we are really proud to blend our general practice. So we are veterinarians. We get on the floor with the puppies. We love it when someone grabs a little kitten that was on the side of the road, but we're really proud of the level of care we've brought to our area. I'm born and raised Shreveport. I actually, since I was a little girl, brought my own animals to this practice. So some of the things that we're able to bring to our clients in our surrounding area is our specialist. Myself, I do advanced oral procedures, maxillofacial surgeries for bone cancers, jaw fractures. Adam does a lot of referral orthopedic surgeries. We draw in from our local community and our surroundings.
Ma'am, could you give us your name and address?
I apologize. Catherine Foray, 7700 East Kings Highway, Shreveport, 71115.
Thank you.
So this is who we are. We're different because we're a blended practice. We're a general practice as well as a specialty practice. We see referrals from a pretty wide area because of what we do. We've brought a lot of special procedures and special things. Typically, if a patient or an animal was sick and an owner was looking for referral care, they'd have to go to Dallas or they'd have to go to the vet school in Baton Rouge. We draw within about a 200-mile radius for referrals, so we have people driving in to use our services. Most of the referrals are fairly regional, but East Texas, Arkansas, Central, and essentially all of North Louisiana. With this, like Catherine said, we do a lot of minimally invasive, we do a lot of scoping, we do a lot of things for very sick animals. This is just a little example of the regional aspect of who we are and what we're doing. Last week we saw 8 patients from out of town. 7 of these patients spent 4 to 6 hours shopping in our stores and eating in our restaurants while their loved ones were being treated at our hospital. One family unfortunately had a very sick dog, and they spent 3 nights in Shreveport while we were caring for their animal. Just this morning, I did knee surgery on a dog that was referred from Manny, and I have another family that it was also a knee surgery that came from Longview. The family from Manny is spending 2 nights in a hotel room while their pet is with us. So the business that we've developed has truly become a regional business, and we think that we're bringing in we are bringing in people from out of town.
So we now get to a point of why are we here with you today, and we need to build. We have run out of room to offer these diagnostic tools. So we offer some really unique procedures. We are a very small practice at this point. We have 1 surgical suite, 1 oral surgical suite. We do a lot of ultrasounds and x-rays, and it's gotten to the point to offer better patient care and allow our dogs to be near dogs and our cats not to be near dogs, that we need to open up our doors to more, be better patient care and understanding the animal bond.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Yes.
I would like to make a comment. You guys are so eloquent in your presentation. You violated all of our rules today. And I just want to make it, going back and forth to the mic, that's not the procedure. When one speaks,
I apologize.
then that person finishes in the other.
Finish.
But now states at ease. It's been a long day.
It has.
And your presentation is so eloquent and professional. Nobody wants to stop you.
Hey, they said we could. You got handouts.
Sounds like you can
I didn't
sell
spray 'em with
snowballs to
perfume.
Eskimos the way he's going. I mean, you just
I'll let
remind me of Alan Young, the way you're making your presentation.
Well, we're teachers and educators. I'll let
It's
Adam
very
finish
obvious.
the
It's very obvious.
presentation.
So once we kind of identified this need and identified with what we were doing and where our future is heading for us, we started talking with a veterinary architect. And so there is such thing, believe it or not, as a veterinary architect. There's a few in the country, and we've been talking with one and working with one for about the last year and a half. So the veterinary architect that we chose because of his merits, because of awards that he had building other veterinary clinics, his name is Sal Longo. And a veterinary architect specializes in sound, in odor, in smells, in infections, in ease of cares. Veterinary clinics are different than human hospitals. We have to have the same standards from a medical standpoint, but then they obviously have to be able to be easily cleaned up. They have to be very easily from a maintenance standpoint as far as taking care of animals. So this is what we've been talking with him about, and I think this is important, and this is important, in all aspects of this, that sound. And sound, as both internal sound as well as external sound, are all in considerations in our plans. Internal sound has a couple of applications, both for our staff being next to a loud animal. Obviously, is something that we don't want them to damage their ears. External noise having little to no impact on barking dogs to our neighbors or to the surrounding. So all of these are addressed in the design. Green and the green initiative has been a very important thing for us, both how we operate now as well as moving forward. We operate in a paperless environment. We operate and we use different cleaning products that are environmental friendly. So that's a big part in our design. Smell and the way that air flows through a veterinary clinic is a big deal. From a standpoint of surgical rooms have to have positive air pressure, isolation rooms have to have negative air pressure so that you're not spreading disease throughout the hospital. It's also very important not to elicit predator-prey responses from blowing air that's being sucked up or returned from a cat area and blowing it to a dog area. You can cause stress and things like that. So there's a lot that goes into this. And so what we think we've come up with is a well thought out design that essentially has minimal to no impact on both our environment as well as our neighbors. And this is what it looks like. This is University Veterinary Hospital and Specialty Care Center. And we're very proud of this design. We're very proud of what it looks like. We're very proud of the function of it. And we think it's something that we've identified a need for the region, and something that we can continue to grow with this. So this is the footprint. This is what it looks like. This right here is our existing hospital right here, and essentially what we're doing is turning the face of the hospital. So here's East Kings Highway. This is our front door currently, and we're turning the doors and creating a new hospital and referral center. The nice thing about this, when we came to the realization that when an owner or a customer is coming, they don't want to be by a busy street unloading their animal, unloading their dog. It's nice to have a nice place for them to do that away from the street itself. When you look at this building, it has a fairly big footprint, but we kind of break it down into areas defined by use and kind of where different people are going to be. The pink essentially is the public area. It's the exam rooms. It's the waiting area. It's where the public is going to receive their animals as well as consult with doctors. The purple is the treatment area and offices essentially, and a lot of the big difference with this is the treatment area and the different specialty applications. Besides having lab, pharmacy, this is treatment area with 6 tables, ICU, we have oxygen cages for animals, we have multiple surgery suites as well as dental suites, we have area for ultrasound, for x-ray. This is a staff lounge. We have iodine 131, which is radioactive iodine that we use for cats that are hyperthyroid. We do chemotherapy. Cancer treatment is a big part of what we do, and so that requires a special place for that. This is our isolation ward back here. This in itself is a scoping room where we do minimally invasive procedures. This right here is a CT scanner. So we're actually bringing in a CT scanner to this, and this is something that, from a specialty aspect, that is a need, and is a need that we're going to fill. The green area are areas for housing these animals, essentially while we're doing these medical treatments, and so that's kind of the breakdown. I think when you just look at this as a big footprint, it looks a little bit differently. So this is something that we've been taking care of pets and their people since 1983. We think we have a different approach to veterinary medicine. We think we have we know we have a team approach to veterinary medicine, and we're offering something different. I think we're having a real regional impact on what we're doing. So, any questions?
I don't have a dog, I'm going to get one.
I own a lot of dogs, you know.
Okay.
We got some kittens we're handing out afterwards.
All right, questions or comments? Wait a minute. First, Stephen.
Yes, go ahead and talk about 2 aspects of what you do. One, you're going to have a boarding component of this, and how that works.
Yep.
Because that's basically why you're requesting the extended use district. And also, could you also talk about any outdoor, you talk about outdoor aspect of this?
Yep, absolutely. So, let me get to the footprint. So what we're doing is asking for a variance of what we currently do. That as we add on, we are adding kennels, and as a B1 at this point, we are not in. We do not have the ability to house healthy patients overnight. And so part of this, and part of this from a added space of animal housing, these are all indoors. There's no outdoor aspect to this. This is all air conditioned. This is an area to where we bring in and take care of these referral cases. These are where we house. These are where after treatments, we also, when a family goes on vacation, for them to house their animal. Now, this area itself is totally contained, and we're having a turfed enclosure area to where patients are taken out on leashes, and we're actually required in the American Animal Hospital Association to have a double barrier, so we can't just have a fence, so they're still on leash as well as a fence, so that there's a safety net built in there. They're taken out with staff, allowed to use the restroom, and this is the way we currently do it, and there's no barking. You can't hear anything around our hospital. So that's kind of the, I guess, where we are with that. Does that answer your question?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other question or comment from the board? Okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I
Ron?
just wanted to say, I appreciate your investment in the community, and normally you would have to go to Dallas or a larger city to get care like this for your animal. So most people with the talent that you guys have will usually run off to another bigger place with more opportunity. So we appreciate the staying home and investing in back into our community.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other question or comment?
They waited, everybody left, so there's no opposition.
Yeah.
No, there wouldn't be any way. We love
That'd be
y'all. Y'all
smart.
down the street from me, and I know y'all, so we're all,
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Is there any other
Yeah.
here in favor of this application? Anybody else in favor of this application? Anybody oppose this application? Opposition to this application? If not,
Motion to approve.
moved by Mr. Andrews and second by Mr. Carvin for approval. All in favor vote yes. Oh, all in favor vote yes. In favor vote yes, opposed vote no. No steps. Yeah, it passed unanimously. Thank y'all very much.
We have entered the step-free zone.
Okay, the next case is case number C6114, 1199 East First Coon, Yoakum Motors. Come forward, please. State your name and address for the record.
Robert Yoakum, 818 Charters Drive, Shreveport, Louisiana, 71115. And we are here on a site approval for an addition to an existing building we have.
Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mr.
Yeah, I want to first thank you so much, Mr. Yoakum, for being cooperative with staff. We've had a number of additions through the years that didn't quite match our plan that we had on file, and so the primary reason for them here to be here today, be sure that we got a good public record that's come to this board.
Right.
This addition is relatively minor in nature, but as we began to compare what's on the ground to what has transpired through the years, it was just enough of that we felt that you needed to see it. So they've been very cooperative with us and submitting a plan that we now can have on record that this body did approve. That's a primary purpose of this case before you today, and we appreciate the Yoakums for working with staff to put this in front of you.
Okay. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Well, thank you for coming, sir, and say hello to my salesman, Lee Northcutt. Okay.
I sure will.
Move right along.
Thank you.
Anybody else here who is in favor of this application? In favor of the application? Opposition to the application? If not,
Motion approved.
motion by Mr. Carvin, second by Mr. Andrews. All in favor vote yes, opposed vote no. Okay.
One quick question,
Passed
Stephen.
unanimous.
But in the future, if they do something like this, we can do staff approval without having the full board, right?
Depending on the level of that.
Okay.
It probably wouldn't have triggered it this time, but when we began to look at what's happened through the years, we just didn't have this in front of you, and we needed it.
Hopefully they keep
Okay,
expanding.
Right.
Yeah, but like I said, we were very appreciative, and we worked with them, and they were able to work with us, so.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, before we go on to the next case, we're gonna take a 15-minute break, because I know Mr. Grubb wouldn't mind that.
Woo, Charlie, get on it.
Can we make that 25?
Pacing all day.
I couldn't resist, Charles. I withdraw my motion, Charles. Case number C-6214.
You cleared the house.
Mr. Chairman, members.
Name and address for the record, Mr. Grubb.
I am Charles Grubb. I'm an attorney in town. My address is 400 Travis Street, Suite 1222, Shreveport, 71101. I represent Newquest Properties, which is a developer from Texas that has an arrangement with the YMCA, that's the applicant for this case, to develop Camp Forbing. And I'm making a mistake by asking you what I'm about to ask you for, because with the chamber empty, at least I know I don't have any opposition. But in all seriousness, and as I advised Mr. Jean yesterday, as soon as we knew about it, we've had a development take place that has caused us to want to ask that the board grant us a continuance until the September meeting to make a formal presentation to you on this case. And if y'all are disposed to do so, that's the request. I will tell y'all this, that continuances of cases involving public hearings are not something that we're standing up here lightly doing, and something has arisen just in the last 48 hours that was not foreseeable by either the applicant or Newquest Properties. So that's the situation that we see ourselves in requesting the continuance.
Okay,
Mr. Grubb, in light of the size of this project and the impact to the community, I think it would only be prudent and wise to grant the request.
Appreciate that.
Okay. I'm not turning, wait a minute, first of all, thank you, Charles. Everybody's just waiting for you, that's all.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing personal, okay. Mr. Remedies.
And I just wanted to point out that I had another email from Chairwoman DeMarteau to read into the record.
Chairperson.
Whatever. But I did. I'm not going to read it because we'll let her speak her mind next time.
Okay.
And I don't want to wear those glasses again.
Okay, good. Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Charles. Steve, hold on. Stephen?
No, I just want to make sure, I heard a motion.
Oh, wait,
probably
no,
more-
it's not a motion yet. It's not a motion yet. He's out of order. He's out of order. I'm glad he's out of order.
Mine was a comment. That's all it was. It wasn't a motion.
Yeah, that's right.
His comment.
That was just a comment.
Okay. Anybody else in favor of this application? Anybody else in favor of this application? Opposition to this application? Opposition. If not, pleasure to the board.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept the applicant's request for deferral continue.
Moved by Mr. Young, second by me, Mr. Carvin, that we defer and continue this application. All in favor vote yes, opposed vote no. Charles is deferred.
Now, he gets to be first on the agenda next time. He gets to be first instead of
It'll be second because the first case was.
I wanted to suspend the rule and move it to the top of the agenda, but Charles said no.
Thank you, Charles.
Okay, where are we? Okay, that's the end of the public hearing.
Very good, John.
We got things we need to do. We got approval of minutes. We got to do both, July 2nd and 23rd.
Yes, sir.
It's been moved by Mr. Andrews, second by Mr. Carvin. All in favor, vote yes. Opposed, no. Minutes are approved. Any unfinished business? By anybody? Okay. Other business. Stephen, is this the point you, we're gonna, well, we'll let you talk after we do this then, okay? I have to read into the minutes that the status report on the executive director, the contract was signed by Mr. Sweeney was signed, and the start date is October 1st of this year. So we're looking forward to that. What's this other thing? Possible ordinance amendment regarding consistency with Chapter 10?
Yes,
that?
we would like to get the permission from the board to bring an ordinance amendment that will let Chapter 10, which deals with the alcohol permits, where that will speak better to Chapter 106, which is your ordinance. You don't deal with it much, but it's a zoning board of appeals issue, and we'd like to be able to bring that to you at a meeting, hopefully next month if possible.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we ask the staff to prepare an amendment to Chapter 10, as in per request of Mr. Jean. I think we have to do that as a formal motion, correct?
Yes, sir, please.
Yes.
A formal motion, okay, it's been moved by
Second.
Mr. Young, second by Ms. Smith, to do what his motion said. All in favor, vote yes, opposed, no.
What the motion said.
I don't know what we're
What
voting on,
you
I'm
said
sorry.
we
I
need-
cou- I
Oh,
didn't-
I'm sorry, I thought y'all heard what he said.
Oh, we can't make out what he's saying,
I couldn't figure it out.
Oh, I'm sorry, okay, I withdraw that.
That was the point. We didn't want you to.
I know. I was
say
about to
yes.
just push yes.
Go ahead,
I
go ahead and
will-
tell him, explain again.
I will
Make it
repeat.
a little bit simpler.
Yeah, I will repeat. This is, in the zoning board of appeals, we often have cases that deal with alcohol use.
What?
There is another ordinance, it's Chapter 10, which is actually the ABO law. Those two ordinances do not speak to each other very well. So instead of waiting for the UDC, because it's going to be some time, the police department had asked that we go ahead and begin looking at changes to Chapter 10 that would assist us, and we'd like to bring those to you because they have ramifications in Chapter 106. And so that would, like I said, this is something that you don't deal with, but the zoning board of appeals does deal with.
Okay,
And all the
restate your
motion,
motion.
all the motion does is give them the ability to move forward, to
Okay.
prepare any amendments that are necessary and bring them back to us.
Okay.
That's all the motion does, correct,
Okay.
Mr. Jean?
Yes, sir.
And, okay, that's his motion, and it was seconded
I'll say
by
second with
Oh,
this.
Smith.
Ms. Smith.
I'm sorry, with
Okay,
stipulations.
we good?
Yeah.
All in favor, vote yes, opposed, no. Motion carries. Okay. Now, appointment of the following committees, I need to read this into the record. Budget Committee, Mr. Remedies, Cooper, Ms. Cooper, Ferdinand, and Ms. DeMarto. Rules and Procedure Committee, as related to the function of the board, Dr. Pennywell, Alan Young, Mr. Remedies, and Ms. Bessie Smith. Operational/Personnel Committee, as it relates to staff, Ms. Smith, Mr. Young, Mr. Colvin, Mr. Ferdinand. Long Range Planning Committee, Mr. Colvin, Mr. Andrews, Ms. DeMarto, and Ms. Cooper. Executive Board, Ms. DeMarto, Ferdinand, Young, and Andrews.
Make a motion to approve as stated.
Second.
Been moved and second that these committees be part of our record. All in favor, vote yes, opposed, no. It's so ordered. It passed, Ms. Cooper, unanimously. Okay. Any, I have no comment. Any board members comment?
I'd like to just make a comment to the board that we did, and I guess it's an in-house personal thing, but Mr. John LaFee, our gentleman who's in the back handling all of our IT equipment, did lose his mother this week, and we wanted to know
Okay.
that our hearts and prayers are with he and his family.
Okay. Good point. Ronnie?
And just make a request to the staff that we appreciate the efforts for the, including the map with a view on here. However, it does require that we download additional software onto the computer, and you have to have administrative access to that. So if we could either get that downloaded or take another direction where we could, and instead of just being a street level, a view of the overhead map, I'd like to see it when you pull it up, you're standing in the street looking at and then you just spin left or right.
Yeah.
We did it down here.
It wouldn't come up on mine. I tried mine.
Would you
We
fix
blocked
Mr.
yours.
Remedies'
I'll show him how.
computer?
It's all right.
I'll walk behind.
I'm looking.
I tried it on yours, remember? It wouldn't come up. Okay.
I'm looking at. She made hers turn all the way around.
Oh, she was on Google Maps.
I was on Google.
All right,
Some
staff.
streets will do it, some won't.
Okay, staff, take care of that. Move right along.
She's on Google.
Is there anything else from board, okay?
I was,
All right, now,
I confess.
agenda item number 9, okay. There's a request from Community Development to update us on the Choice Neighborhood.
Yes, I think it.
You don't need a motion for that, do
No, you don't, I just want to.
you? FYI?
Well, I just want to make sure there's a consensus that, and really, I believe this is going to be more than that. It will eventually come to you at some point or another to endorse that plan. Is that, I think there's been a request with this body in the past, they have not seen the actual Choice Neighborhoods Plan, and Ms. Moore, in an effort to, at some point in the future, near future, we expect the NOFA, which is Notice of Funding Availability, from the federal government to come out on the implementation grant. And they believe it would assist them in obtaining funding to have the endorsement of this board.
Well, I won't be here, but I encourage the board to really embrace that. I know the city got a $250,000 planning grant, but based on my knowledge of what I pull off the web, just about all the cities who got implementation grant was running about 30 million. So the big bucks are in the implementation grant, so that's
Chairman,
hefty, yeah.
The medium-sized cities have
Just
a
a quick
good
question.
chance.
When are they talking about trying to do this? At which meeting?
Well, we had hoped to have it at your next meeting. That may not be then, well, because,
Tell me what happened, what's changed, because a year ago, we were asking them to come present and all that, and they gave us the reasons why they couldn't be here. What flavors changed 180 degrees? I don't get it.
well, I will tell you one thing that has changed is that we want to be able to obtain funding for the implementation grant, and they've also hired a implementation coordinator, which they did not have on staff at the time your request went forward. They actually have someone on staff that is dealing with this issue in more detail than they had before.
How long
You do remember our repeated request, Mr. Kirkland was here,
Yes, sir.
and he asked for it in writing.
And I
He asked
referenced-
for it in a public forum, and they basically said, we ain't coming. Is that right?
I referenced that in, I don't know about the official response from community development, but I will say that I think this may have been a relationship from another entity that is involved in that to present as part of that.
I say we make I'd like to make a motion that we have that meeting when the new mayor is on point, and everybody get to know everybody. So when they come present, it'd be after the election.
Well, the only thing I
Is
say
that a
about that,
timetable issue, though?
there's a timetable issue, sir, because if the NOFA comes out prior to that, this could impede their ability to obtain the funding.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, wait a minute, hold on a minute. Ms. Smith, you next. Dale, are you through? Dale, are you through?
Yeah, I've been through with that one a year ago.
Ms. Smith?
Gonna say it out loud?
Yes,
Did I
ma'am.
not hear you say we have someone on staff here?
No, ma'am.
Oh,
Community
okay.
development.
Yeah, I was gonna follow up. I thought about the same thing.
Yeah.
That person is resident in community development. How long they been resident there?
Just at the first of the year, and if you recall, there was $35,000 taken out of our budget at the beginning of the year. That's
Do you
what
know who that
funded it.
person? Do you know who that person was?
No.
I don't have that name in front of me right now.
Yeah, because at one time, now, which leads me to the other
It's a
question. When is Ms.
contract
Mapp,
employee.
has Ms. Mapp started yet, or when she's gonna start?
She starts Monday. She wasn't in that position. She was involved in the project on the early phases.
Because at one time I thought she was, huh?
She's here, but that's not her title. She doesn't
That's
own
not
it.
her title. That's why I was asking that question.
No, she was not, she's not that person. There's a contract employee
Okay.
that was hired for that purpose, and I don't have that name in front of me.
Okay, while we talking about Ms. Mapp, what's the status again now?
She starts on the 11th.
Next Monday?
Yeah, and
Coming back.
and she's being trained to assume the intake for the zoning board of appeals cases, which
Okay.
is now being done by Ms. Dean.
Mr. Remedies, then Mr. Young.
Did we hire her, or is that someone that is hired through another entity of the city?
Let's make sure we're talking about
The lady you just referenced?
Ms. Mapp.
We just referenced Ms. Mapp, was
Ebony
hired
Mapp.
by, was hired by the MPC staff.
Okay.
Right, that works for us. It's a.
Gonna
that would
replace
be-
our own. Did you see the email?
No, I saw the email. I just wanted to make a
Yeah.
point that I think that in all fairness to our new executive director, we should hold off on any future hires so that person's able to build his own team and
I kind of
interview.
agree with
May-
that.
Go back to
May
Steve.
I,
Hold on.
may I make a recommendation?
But Ion is leaving. I made that assumption that the cross-training purposes need to happen, but go
Absolutely,
ahead.
I'm talking about moving.
Yeah,
forward.
right.
Well, along that line, sir, and I would say that Mr. Andrews can attest to this. I was asked in a meeting on Monday of this week by 2 elected officials on what was going to be happening about replacing of Ms. Sanders. My response in that meeting was that my intention as interim director would be not to replace that position, but to obtain input from our new director. Subsequent to that, I have talked to Mr. Sweeney. He has requested that we hold off on hiring that position and until he assumes his position on October 1st. He has requested that we do send some information regarding the position description to him, and we will honor this request.
Thank you, Mr. Jean, but I would like to say as one of the board members, when you're notified something like that, I'm hoping that all board members in communicating will know just what you just stated.
Let Mr.
Press-
Andrews, I would like Mr. Andrews to respond to that.
Please.
The comment he just made it sound like he and I met together upstairs.
Exactly.
Let me clarify that. On the first Monday of each month, the master plan subcommittee
Good.
meets upstairs in the conference room.
Good.
The representatives on the master plan subcommittee from the MPC board are Ms. Leah DiMarto, Mr. Dale Carvin, and
Good.
Winger Andrews.
Now that sounds better.
He just heard about it because he's in the building. I'm gonna
Dale
let you say. He was in the building, he heard about it.
Absent.
I was absent. I was missing in
He didn't show
action.
up for the meeting, but I'm glad that we had representation there because the representative from the city council and the parish commission are very concerned about our process moving forward. We assured them that we are as much concerned about our process being moved forward, but whatever moves forward comes through the MPC board.
Well,
Okay.
on that note, let me say this, Mr. Chairman. What Ronnie said about not even doing any hiring and what Stephen got hit up about, that we need to make a motion not to hire anybody to the executive director's on point, so that'll give him some reaffirmment when he goes to the next meeting next week that somebody else from the city council don't hit him up. I make that motion.
Yeah, no one else can be hired to
I
work
second
for
that
staff at the
motion.
MPC until the executive director takes his position.
I'll
make that
October
motion.
1st. Second.
Okay,
I appreciate it.
it's
It
moved
does
by,
assist me.
Mr. Colvin, second by Dr. Penwell, no hiring until after the new ED is here.
Right.
Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you.
All in favor, vote yes. Opposed, vote no. Let's do a hand. All in favor, oh, it's there.
It's
It's
there.
raised. Okay.
I make a motion to adjourn.
No, wait, wait a minute, we got two important items. Well,
I got
three.
I got
with
one
it.
comment real quick.
You quitting?
No.
You gotta go.
That's what we heard last time.
Okay. We
No,
got
I just-
we got three important things.
Well, I
Alan,
gotta go to the bathroom.
Stephen, and then
The
me.
MPC, the master plan and the UDC are the two integral things that are really moving fast. We don't have a lead person now, and I know we're gonna wait till after we hire. But we should be thinking between now and when Mr. Sweeney gets here, who do we want, not who. What qualifications do we want for that position? Who's gonna take care of
Darren's
his job? Was
Darren,
it the MP, was it the master plan implementation person? What responsibilities do we want for that job? So because if we're don't have somebody in-house, we're gonna have to advertise this. The master plan and the UD is still going on. The UDC is moving rather quickly. If we take 6, 8, 9 months to find somebody, they're gonna come in at the tail end of the UDC, not, you follow what I'm saying?
I agree.
I just think we need to
We
be
got people on
proactive,
staff
and maybe
who see
Mr.
them
Jean
going.
can start thinking about what qualifications can we fill it within, not telling we're gonna hire anybody, but be thinking about what kind of person we want in that position, so that we can get that ball already kind of
Hold
moving
on.
down the stream. I'm not saying
Hold on a
get
minute.
ahead of Mr. Sweeney,
No.
but I'm saying we need to be thinking about it, because that's our decision is going to be who's
Would
going
it
to
be,
be.
would it be different from the advertisement we sent out for Darrell? That we ended up with Darrell?
Well, may I interject, because out of fairness to Mr. Sweeney, I talked to him about this issue and told him that I had made a decision in my current capacity not to move ahead with the replacement. That it was my decision at this particular point was to defer until he was on board. That was my own personal position. After he heard what I had to say, he then requested that we not move ahead until he's on board, but he did also request to be sent any information regarding the position description or other materials that would assist him in looking at it between now and then. So it's not his intent to hold it up either, but one of the things that my own personal observation in evaluating this was that Mr. Sweeney, in watching him and watching him to give a presentation and looking at his resume, has had quite a bit of experience in the implementation of plans. And it would be only right to allow him an opportunity to look at this position and see if there was something that he may want to do a little differently in order, based off of his vast experience
good to have
in
his
this area.
input, yeah.
And so that's how I arrived at my decision. Is, as you well know, this last time that position was done through a committee process, but all of the hiring you usually vest in the executive director to do that work. And so that's what we have done up to this point, but knowing that you had already made a decision and a date of a person that you're moving forward, it would have not been wise for anyone, in my opinion, for me, to move ahead. So that's why I recommended this course of action, and I'm glad that you are supporting it. And I think that between now and then, even though he's not officially on board, we will continue to educate him and give him information so that when he hits the ground on October 1st, he would be able to move ahead with that fairly quickly.
I'd hate for your last meeting to go past 6 o'clock.
Oh, it's not gonna go past 6.
The only reason I said that comment was I think when the position was going out for Dara, we wanted somebody who was either AICP certified or moving in that direction.
Yes, sir.
We never got there. Okay?
Well, yes,
I'm
sir.
not slighting the job she was doing. I'm just saying we never got there. And so if we're going to fill that position, if Mr. Sweeney's determination is, yes, we do need to fill that position, it cannot be done internally with the current staff level, then the qualifications, I think, we need to make sure we vet them very closely to make sure we get the right person that's going to come in and fill that position. We currently have one person on staff that's AICP, which is Roy Jempor, and now Mr. Sweeney would be the second. And that's probably the highest number we've ever had on staff.
November, it may be a different number.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, that's a great thing, right?
All right.
Thank you.
All right, we got an important issue relative to the budget. First, Gene, tell us about the deadline for August 15 for the budget, and did you get a target from the city?
I do not, as of this date, have a firm target number.
So we got to decide here, I talked to Gene briefly about it yesterday, that we don't have a target from the city. They want our draft budget by the 15th of August, and we don't have a current meeting scheduled before then.
That's correct.
And
we
would
need
it be
to vet
wise
this
to set
committee.
a special meeting without having that target from the city?
Yes, sir, and we need to also vet this in committee. Now, I have proposed a number to the administration, but I haven't received anything official to say that number's been accepted.
Mr.
The
Chairman.
target normally comes in writing, either letter or email.
It becomes, usually it is via email and in a letter form.
Yeah, you got something written. Okay, Dale.
With that said, that target number that you gave him, did that have Sweeney coming on October 1? Did that have the new hire October the 11th? Did that have minus Ione and minus Dara? Your target number?
You're talking about 2014. I'm talking about 2015, which would be anything that happened after January 1st.
Okay.
Right.
So we got to give a target number for January 15.
Right.
So
I also need to talk
okay.
to the Budget Committee about an amendment that we will need to move forward before October 1st, and it deals with making sure that we have the funds in the budget. We need to move from one series to another. It'd be a revenue neutral event. We have to go to the city council. Don't anticipate.
So real quick, the next year's budget in 2015, do you have in that budget a replacement for Dara,
Yes.
and Sweeney's money in it.
Yes.
So we could just make a motion now to approve what he's tentatively set up.
No, wait a
And if we
minute.
gotta change,
Wait a minute, hold on. You do understand that the city gives us a target. We say, regardless of what we say, they haven't given it to us yet. And whether we say it now or later, they still gonna give us, what we say is not gonna impact that target they give us.
Okay.
And this
We
has
need to know what it is.
And this needs to be vetted in committee as well.
Right, that's why we need to bring it up.
Mr. Chairman.
Do we want, before you go, we need to decide whether we want a special board meeting, defer this, or empower the budget committee to handle it, okay? Alan?
Mr. Ferdinand, I need to ask you a personal question. You are on the budget committee.
Right, I was just saying.
Okay? If your intent is this is your last meeting, do we need to put someone else?
Yeah, that might be wise, because
Such as Mr. Andrews
yeah.
on that budget
But
committee.
wait, hold on. Would it be us or the chairman? Okay, I can tell you, huh? All I can say is this,
But you can do it as the chair.
the chairman.
You're the acting
May I
chair.
ask a
Oh.
question? The chairman is the person that put all of us on the
So I can,
committee.
you're right, as acting chairman, I can do it.
I'm
as
asking
a-
a question.
Uh-oh.
Is that how we got on the boards that,
Right,
Yes.
Ms. DeMarteau.
okay,
As the chairman,
I know this is the
I'm
first board.
I'm
I've
resigning
served.
myself and appointing Mr. Andrews to the budget committee. Yeah,
Well, we
budget
need a
committee.
motion and a second on that, correct?
Yeah, y'all gonna have to.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that in the lieu of your resignation from the MPC, that Mr. Andrews take your place on the budget committee.
Is that second? Second by Dr. Pennywell.
All right.
The motion is Mr. Andrews will replace me on the budget committee. We got a motion and a second. All in favor, raise your hand. It passed unanimously.
Don't have a choice.
Okay. Yeah. So, let's discuss, are we gonna empower the budget committee to negotiate and come up with a target? I mean,
We've got the 15th, that's next Friday, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Together again.
Otherwise, you gotta get the whole board back together.
Yeah, I don't, that's,
Mr.
We
Chairman,
gonna-
I make a motion that we empower the budget committee to get the budget done and get it presented, so Mr. Jean can get it presented to the city council and the parish
There's a
commission.
motion?
We have a chance to.
Is that
see
second?
the budget.
second.
There's a
No.
motion by Mr. Young, second by Mr. Remedies to
Yes,
empower the budget committee to prepare the budget and send to the city. Any question, Ms. Smith? It's been moved and second that the budget committee will be empowered to handle this. You have a question or comment, Ms. Smith?
I have a question because I never approved a budget that I never had a chance to see it.
That's
So
what
that's what I was asking.
But you
Okay.
can come to the meeting next
Well,
week.
let me, that's exactly right. Okay,
Mr. Jean?
hold on.
The only way, you got to be careful when you're having these meetings, is you don't get a quorum
Right.
of the MPC.
Right.
Well,
It
it's my
becomes an
understanding as long
NPC meeting.
as long as she's not sitting at the table making the decision, she can be in attendance.
Still gonna be an open meeting.
It's an open meeting, and she can be in attendance, but she just can't vote.
That's right.
And she
Right.
can't participate in the active discussion unless she's like an outside participant.
So,
I just wanna
please,
make sure
okay, let's carry was the motion carried?
Yeah, no, it's just
it
motion
wasn't.
second,
It's
first and second.
discussion.
Motion, it's been motion and second that the budget committee be empowered to prepare the budget and send it off to the city. Any other question?
What you might want to do is have that ratified at your next regular meeting. Have the decision of the budget committee ratified at your next.
So that has to be an agenda item.
Yes.
Yeah, after I'm gone. That's good. Y'all take care of that.
We good?
All in favor? Is we good, lawyer?
Yeah.
All in favor, raise your hand. It passed unanimously. The budget committee will be empowered to handle the budget. Before I adjourn, I'd like to say I really enjoyed working with you guys.
Yeah,
If nothing else happens, I hope this committee, this board, sooner or later, get recognized by the media and everybody, every citizen, about the hard work this group does. I mean, look how long we've been here.
That's so
I mean, that's longer than the average commission of council meeting, okay? So I know what you guys are up against. I almost didn't take this position because I knew what I was gonna be up against. Because I knew the kind of controversy that came to the council when I sit on it from '84 to '90. And I used to hate to say, golly, look who the MPC has sent to the council again, you know. But I know the kind of work that you guys had even before I got here. That's why I almost didn't take it, but I
We
wanted to be
still have
part of it.
media in the room? Do we still have a?
Tell anybody that.
Oh, that's significant.
Well, in a minute, I'm on my way out. I'm on my way out. What are you talking about?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to dismiss.
All right, then move in second.
You can play it on your phone.